Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Big Akar Ahmed and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be reacting to a video called The Internet is Worse Than Ever. Now what? And this video is going to be a little animation that's basically going to show us how the human brain reacts psychologically, physically, to basically what is happening with the internet at the moment. What has the internet done to society? And this is going to be really awesome because I like focusing more on the logistics, the scientific evidences, the psychological effects, the physical effects, to kind of show you what's happening in the world, rather than just telling you oh, I have faith and believe in these miracles and believe in these stories. Sometimes it's good to actually see the knowledge and see the logistics and see the psychology and see the biology and see all of these things, the anatomy, the physics, and everything else around what's actually happening within our world, not just what we believe inside of our hearts. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this and see what's going on here. Let us know what's going on the internet. This is from a channel called Kurzgesagte in a nutshell. So I'm not quite sure how to pronounce the name of this channel. Original source is linked down below, and let's get right into it.
In 2022, nearly half of Americans expected a civil war in the next few years. 1 in 5 now believes political violence is justified. And it's not just the US, but around the world. People increasingly see themselves as part of opposing teams. There are many different reasons for this, but one gets blamed a lot: social media. Social media divides us, makes us more extreme and less empathetic. It riles us up or sucks us into doom scrolling, making us stressed and depressed. It feels like we need to touch grass and escape to the real world. New research shows that we might have largely misinterpreted why this is the case. It turns out that the social media internet may uniquely undermine the way our brains work, but not in the way you think. The myth of the filter bubble. You've probably heard about online filter bubbles. Algorithms give you exactly what you want or what they think you want. You only see information that shows you opinions that agree with yours, while dissenting opinions or information are filtered out.
Basically, they think for you.
Since you only see content close to your worldview, more extreme and toxic opinions suddenly seem less extreme. You're trapped in a radicalizing filter bubble, and your view of the world becomes narrower and more extreme.
This is what I'm trying to break when it comes to the YouTube algorithm, is I know that the content that I create is going to be placed in this bubble, and it's going to suggest my content to specific people that are looking for a specific thing. But what I'm trying to do with my content, because I want to touch on all aspects of culture, I want to touch on all aspects of the world. The devil is everywhere. He's not just in music. So I don't just want to talk about music and attach myself to the people who are in a music bubble. I want to come out and I want to break those boundaries. I want to break that algorithm, because I'm done being brainwashed by, hey, if you like video games, then all the content that you are going to see is about video games and this video game. So I don't like that. When I'm on the internet, I like learning things. I like seeing different cultures. I like video games. I like music. I like movies. I like this. You have different categories. You have different subjects that you're going to like. But it's very, very hard to find things and to experience new entertainment, to experience new things and to learn new things and to indulge yourself and not become this ignorant, brainwashed bot if you're not able to see that other content. So it's very, very, very important to me that I kind of break those boundaries within my own digital space so that I can see and I can get sources from everywhere and everyone.
But is that true? Extreme filter bubbles seem to be rather rare. Studies that investigated what people actually look at online or are shown by search engines found little evidence that you're ideologically isolated. It's the exact opposite. Online, you are constantly confronted with opinions and worldviews that are not your own. It turns out that the place where you are the most ideologically isolated is your real life, in the real world, with real people. Your real-world interactions with your friends, family, colleagues and neighbors are much less diverse than your online bubble. The filter bubble exists in your real life, not online. Okay, wait. Online filter bubbles have been the prevailing explanation as to why we've all started hating each other more over the last 2 decades. If that's not the case, shouldn't the internet open our minds and make us more empathetic with each other? Unfortunately, your brain is stupid. Your brain is stupid. Human brain...
You know what's funny? I tell people this all the time. Human beings are dumb. We're dumb. Because our brain is a computer. It's given a command, and the command that it's given, it operates it. Your brain's stupid. So if you're not the one giving your brain the command, something else is. That's the devil, if that's social media, if that's your parents, someone's giving that brain a command, and your brain's taking the command. It's stupid. It doesn't understand the difference between you giving it a command and the social media giving it a command.
Brains didn't evolve to understand the true nature of reality, but to navigate and maintain social structures. Our ancestors desperately needed each other to survive, so our brains had to make sure we cooperated. That's why social isolation or exclusion feels so horrible, because it was actually life-threatening. A tribe that worked together survived. A divided tribe died. The way communities worked for thousands of years is that, sure, you may have disliked a neighbor, but because you lived close to each other, you also rooted for the same sports club or saw them at church. You both thought that the people from the other village were idiots. Being physically close made you familiar and created similarities that bridged the gap of different worldviews so you didn't murder each other. And your worldview was probably not that different in the first place because it was formed by the same local culture. When our brains evolved, this was enough. Whoever was around was similar to us. We liked what was similar to us. This kept us aligned enough to work together despite our differences. As humanity moved on from small tribes to towns and cities, from chiefdoms to kingdoms to nations, our brains and our communities had to adapt to more diverse sets of neighbors. We began to meet on the town square or in universities where we argued and screamed at each other. But in the grand scheme of things, communities were still relatively isolated, we were still pretty similar and aligned with the people around us. Conflict and disagreement are not a bad thing per se. Tension over how we should live can create new and wonderful things. Our values, norms, and taboos are always evolving, and whatever we think is normal today...
That's also part of the reason I started this channel, guys, is values and differences help us grow. Having this YouTube channel, being able to talk to Christians, Muslims, black, white, Jewish, Hindu, Chinese, Russian, race, color, religion, gender. I get to talk to everybody. I get to see everyone's different belief systems. That's what progresses me. That's what progresses me as a person. Is not just understanding myself, my own beliefs, my own religion, my own culture. It's understanding everybody's. That's what really, really, really makes me knowledgeable. That's what allows me to connect with all these people. That's what allows me to respect all these people, you know?
Will not be normal in the future, but we also need social glue to hold our societies together because our brains don't care about the meta level of humanity, but about being safe in a tribe. Until about 20 years ago, we did something truly new that hit our brains like a freight train. The social media internet, the digital town square.
Yep.
Don't you dare disagree with me. Social sorting. In a nutshell,
don't you dare disagree with me.
Our brains are not able to process the amount of disagreement we encounter on the social internet. The very mechanisms that made it possible for our ancestors to work together in the first place are derailed in ways we were not prepared for. Whether you want it to or not, your brain sorts people by worldviews and opinions into teams. This is not simply tribalism, it goes further. Researchers have called this process social sorting. On the digital town square, you encounter people that express opinions or share information that clash.
This is why it's very important, guys, also to understand the study of psychology, the study of the human brain, the study of physics, the study on how the world works around you. When I drop a ball, why does the ball drop? You know, if I'm moving at this speed, why does this happen? If this is a solid, this is a gas, this is what this happens. There's a lot of things that are very important within your physical realm, like to understand like how touch and feel and all these things work, because that's important. In my opinion, understanding your mind, understanding your body, understanding the universe around you is much more important than being an accountant or being, anything else, a race car driver, for instance. In my opinion, It's better to utilize your human nature to live. Be a mother, be a father. If you're a man, be a leader, be a protector, be a provider. Work out, get muscles, do things that are of your nature. It'll make you happy. It really will. Because if you understand your body and you understand your mind and you feed it what it deserves, at the end of the day, you're going to be very, very happy. But what we're being fed through social media is everything that our mind, it doesn't want. Our body, it doesn't want. They're not beneficial to us. Unless you really, really, really know how to go online and filter out information and look up specific sourcing and things and names and dates and times. And it's really, really hard.
With your worldview. But unlike your neighbor, they don't root for your local sports club. You're missing the local social glue your brain needs to align with them. For your brain, the disagreement between yourself and them becomes a central part of their identity. And this makes it less likely that you will seriously consider their position or opinion in the future. If you hear bad things about them, your brain is much more likely to believe it uncritically. On the flip side, there are people who share your worldview and are maybe even more similar to you than many people in your real life, which makes your brain like them a lot and kind of hyper-align with them. People who think like you are probably good people because you're a good person and whatever social group you belong to is good. So your brain is more likely to believe their opinions. If you hear bad things about them, your brain is much more likely to dismiss it uncritically. The engagement-driven...
That was one of the biggest things I said about Elon Musk, like when he first started getting really, really big on social media and had this social influence. Everyone loves Elon Musk. Everyone loved him. Everyone was obsessed with him. And I was like, there's no way this many people like someone. This is not normal. There's no negativity around him. There's no negative stories. There's no negative anything about him. So when you keep pushing this positive image on a society about a specific person, everyone loves that person. It's very, very hard for hate to get through the floodgates, like he was saying. And I noticed that with Elon Musk, especially years back when he was starting to get this big social influence. People weren't really hating at all on anything he was doing. But as you can see, Elon Musk holds the key to world domination today. So, I mean, it's a little worrying.
The social internet makes it worse because it wants to keep you online as long as possible. And the most engaging emotion is, unfortunately, anger. The more angry you get, the more likely you are to share and engage. And this leads to social media amplifying the most extreme and controversial.
See that little cloud that came, put the mask on his head, like the little mad face mask? That's what I believe demons do, or jinns. I believe that they come to you when you are in a state of anger, when you have sinned, when you are intoxicated, when your soul and your body are having trouble connecting and talking to each other, and your soul and your body are arguing with each other. That's when this demon comes in and he intercepts and he says, cuss this guy out, cuss this guy out, cuss this guy out, and he keeps talking in your ear. That's what I kind of imagine that little cloud being is. Like a jinn or a demon.
Controversial opinions. It optimizes not only to show us disagreement, but the worst disagreement possible. And because your stupid brain is sorting people into teams, whatever the worst opinions are, it assigns the same opinions to everybody on the other team. What's striking and new about online polarization is that all the aspects of our lives that make us individuals, our lifestyle choices, the comedians or shows we watch, our religion, sense of fashion and so on, are condensed, making it seem that they're parts of opposing and mutually exclusive identities. This simplifies and distorts disagreements about how we should run society so much that it often seems as if the people on the other team are actively, willfully making the world worse. That they're almost evil beyond convincing with rationality, facts, or civil discussion. While you are, of course, on the correct team, it may be hard to process that you may seem like that to people on the other team. On a societal level, this is dissolving the social glue that's the foundation of our...
This is why, guys, especially in today's day and age, drop your egos, turn off the internet, objective truth, knowledge, sources, history, faith, prayer, meditation, becoming one with yourself, becoming patient, becoming accepting, becoming knowledgeable, understanding what everyone around you believes is very important so you don't end up an enemy to everyone around you. So your neighbor on your left isn't your enemy. So your neighbor on your right isn't your enemy. So your neighbor in front of you is not your enemy. It is very, very, very important to utilize knowledge so this does not happen to you. You need to understand both sides of the story before you can make a conclusion on what actually happened in your mind. Your brain is stupid, like this man is saying. Do not allow your brain to bamboozle your soul.
Our democracies. If we think our neighbors are evil, how can we live together? This is especially bad in the US, where the two-party system makes it extra easy to think of people in terms of teams. Negative opinion about the other party has reached record highs. Okay, is there something we can learn from this? Is there something we can do? Something more positive. Opinion part. In the end, it's important to be aware of what social media does to your brain. It's easier to change yourself than to change the world, so you can self-examine why you believe the things you believe and whether you dismiss or believe information based on who the
Why do you believe what you believe? That's religion, that's politics, that could be where you're parking your car when you get to Walmart or Target. Why do you believe what you believe? Ask yourself that question when it comes to anything in life. Once you do that, you'll get what this man is talking about right here. I want him to say that again.
In the end, it's important to be aware of what social media does to your brain.
Be aware of what social media does to your brain. Understand the psychology behind what social media does to your mind. Once you understand how social media works, once you understand how your brain works,
it's easier to change yourself than...
It's much easier to change yourself than to try and argue and debate and attack the world. Like 99% of the Christians who come into my comments and are arguing to me about Islam, you're not going to change Islam. Islam is 2 billion people deep. It is the fastest growing religion on earth. As much ignorance as you want to scream and spread, and you're rooting for your sports team of Christianity or whatever the case may be, that's not how objective truth works. That's not how coming together works. That's not how loving thy neighbor works. That's not how your brain is going to operate with the world around you. You need to do what this man is saying. You need to understand, hey, how is my brain affected by information, especially rapid information on like social media? Then you have to tell yourself, okay, I can change myself, but I can't change the world. So let's figure this out. How does my brain work, and what information and whatnot is irritating me? And that information that's irritating me, why? Why do I believe what I believe, and why do they believe what they believe? Knowledge is power.
To change the world, so you can self-examine why you believe the things you believe and whether you dismiss or believe information based on who the person is who is stating that information. The internet comes with a lot of ups and downs, and just like we had to adapt from living in small tribes to living in cities, we need to adapt to the information age where we have access to billions of people. Evolution is too slow, so we need to find models that work with what our brains are able to tolerate. One model that seemed to work well was the pre-social media internet old people might remember. Bulletin boards, forums, blogs. The main difference to today was twofold. For one, there were no algorithms fighting to keep you online at any cost. At some point, you were done with the internet for the day, as mind-blowing as this may sound. But more...
I used to get on dial-up internet, play a game, go on Instant Messenger, see if one of my friends were on Instant Messenger, message them, hi bro. He used to message me, hi bro, LOL. And now I used to be at 10, 15 minutes on the internet playing a game or something. And you lived your life outside. You lived your life, in the real world.
Importantly, the old internet was very fractured, split into thousands of different communities, like small villages gathering around shared beliefs and interests.
And now one company owns every website and pushes this big marketing campaign to everyone on the planet. It wasn't, before it was all segregated and separate. Now it's just all owned by Facebook, all owned by Google, all owned by Apple, and you get what you get.
These villages were separated from each other by digital rivers or mountains. These communities worked because they mirrored real life much more than social media. Each village had its own culture and set of rules. Maybe one community was into rough humor and soft moderation, another had strict rules and banned easily. If you didn't play by the village rules, you'd be banned, or you could just go and move to another village that suited you better. So instead of all of us gathering in one place, overwhelming our brains at a town square that in the end just leads us to going insane, one solution to achieve less social sorting may be extremely simple. Go back to smaller online communities. Because what our stupid brains don't realize is that we are actually all on the same team. Humanity, on a wet rock speeding through space in a universe that doesn't think about us.
Once again, I say this all the time. Human beings are on the same team. I don't care if you're Christian, atheist, Jewish, Hindu, Muslim, black, white, Russian. I do not care. At the end of the day, we have one common enemy, especially if you're a monotheist. Especially if you're one of the 5 billion people on earth that believe in the one God, who believe in Satan. Our common enemy is Satan. Satan wants us against each other. God wants us with each other. When we fight each other, when we believe, oh, I'm Christian, I'm Muslim, I'm better than you, and we start arguing with each other, and we start segregating each other, and we cause hate, we cause divide, we cause violence, we cause destruction, we cause all of these different things, we cause ignorance, we cause all of these things. That is Satan at work. Us as humans, he's against us as humans. He's not against the Muslim. He's not against the Christian. He's not against the Jew. He's against humanity. Satan is against humanity. As this guy said, we're all on the same team. Humans are so stupid that they put themselves against each other in a billion different ways because the media and the governments and the propaganda and religion and all of these different things is their egos. Just as Satan's ego got in the way of him when God told him to bow to Adam, his ego got in the way. It's the same way our human egos get in the way and have us turn against one another. That should not be happening.
We are all in this together. But until our brains adjust to being able to deal with that, we might be better off being a tiny bit separated. One of the worst things about the media we consume is that most news organizations tend to cater to one team, making you feel you're on the correct side. Ground News, the sponsor of this video.
Alright, awesome. I'm going to leave it at that. Amazing video from this channel. Starts with a K. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that again like I did in the beginning, but channel is in a nutshell. I'm going to go ahead and leave the links down in the description of the original video and the channel. What an amazing animation. What an elegant voice who commentated it. Very colorful, very vibrant, very fun. It kept my attention. He talked about the psychology. He talked about the physical effects. He talked about, you know, the social effects. He talked about the historical effects of all of these different things. And I think that is very, very important. And I think human beings need to seek more knowledge. You've gone to school for 12 years. You learn all this stuff over and over and over again. But when you get into the real world, you forget how to critically think. You forget how to source what you believe. You forget how to, you know, write and do math equations and problem solve. It's like after you're 18 and you graduate high school, you're done problem solving, and you know you're done waking up on time and going places properly on time. You know, from you go to school at 6 a.m. and you get out at 2 a.m. And it's like after this, you just forget about all of this. And what starts to raise you is the media. That's who starts to raise you. Is when you get older, bro, and you're on the internet and you're going to work and you're doing these things. You're getting raised by society. If you don't slow down and allow yourself to learn, to realize, to study your brain, to study your body, to study the universe, then it's going to attack you. It's going to beat you. It's going to beat you up, and it's not going to leave you alone. So just know that, guys. What an amazing video. Thank you for coming in today. Much appreciated to the creator of this video. Again, amazing animation. And until next time, peace and blessings. God bless you all, and free Palestine, baby.